Welcome to this week's deep dive into fintech. We've got a mountain of news from the BayPay Forum weekly podcast covering everything from March 3rd to the 7th, 2025. So yeah, get ready for a whirlwind tour of innovations, partnerships, funding rounds, and all those regulatory twists and turns. Buckle up, because the world of payments never sleeps.
Definitely doesn't.
And a quick shout out to our amazing sponsor, Paycademy. They are the ultimate resource for everything payments education. So if any of today's deep dive sparks your curiosity, you know what to do. Head over to paycademy.com. Okay, let's jump right in. We'll kick things off with some of the most buzzworthy innovations this week. Flexa, you know them, right? Well, they're making some serious waves with their new tap-to-pay system.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Can you imagine, just imagine paying with crypto as easily as you tap your credit card? That's the future that Flexa is building.
It's pretty slick, and I think it's more than just convenience, right? The simplification. It could be a real game changer for mainstream crypto adoption.
Yeah, you're right.
When crypto payments become as user-friendly as any other method, that's huge. That could be the tipping point we've all been waiting for.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there. And, while we're on the topic of making things easier, let's talk about Pay Near Me.
Yeah, what are they up to?
Well, they're tackling those super annoying ACH returns with a brand new automated platform.
Oh, wow.
No more manual processing, no more wasted time. Businesses, I think, can finally breathe a sigh of relief.
I was just going to say, this is a huge win for efficiency, right?
Right.
ACH returns are a major headache. They're a real pain point for businesses, draining resources, slowing down operations. Pay Near Me is stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, they really are. Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit and move on to the world of partnerships, where collaboration is king. We saw some interesting team-ups this week, like Wizz Air and Revolut.
Oh, yeah, interesting pair.
They're joining forces to make booking flights, get this, a one-click affair.
Streamlining the customer journey, huh?
Exactly.
It's all about enhancing that convenience. Just imagine booking a flight as easy as ordering your favorite takeout. That's the dream.
Yeah.
And it's a win-win for both companies too, right?
For sure.
Wizz Air gets to streamline that whole booking process. Revolut gets prime placement within a travel app. It's smart.
I think so, too. And speaking of global reach, Atome and Oceanbase are teaming up to boost Atome's back-end infrastructure in Asia.
That's interesting.
This partnership, this one really caught my eye because it just highlights the importance of a solid foundation as companies expand internationally.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Scalability and reliability, they're crucial in fintech, especially when you're dealing with these cross-border transactions.
So true.
Atome is, I think they're thinking long-term, and this partnership with Oceanbase, it sets them up for success in the Asian market.
Right. Okay, so it's raining money in the fintech world, and this week was no exception. Hands In secured over £1 million to expand their split payment solutions.
That's awesome.
Remember all those awkward moments trying to split a bill with friends?
Oh, tell me about it.
They're making those a thing of the past.
That's about time.
I know, right?
It makes me think this funding round, it signals a growing trend, toward collaborative consumption.
Yeah.
Split payment solutions like Hands In, they remove the friction from group purchases. They make it easier than ever to share expenses. I think it's a smart move for Hands In to capitalize on this trend, and I don't know, I'm curious to see how they'll impact the payments landscape.
Yeah, me too. Another funding round that caught my attention this week was Fairplay's $25 million raise.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Wow. Yeah. What are they working on?
Well, they're all about ensuring that algorithms treat everyone fairly.
That's important.
Yeah, and it's becoming increasingly important as AI plays a bigger role in finance.
Absolutely.
So this investment, I think it underscores the growing focus on responsible AI development.
Sure.
As algorithms make more and more financial decisions, fairness and transparency are super important.
Couldn't agree more.
Fair play is tackling a really critical issue, and this funding round really empowers them to make a real impact.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, so let's turn our attention now to the regulatory landscape, because things got a little spicy this week. The UK's payment systems regulator is cracking down on MasterCard and Visa for hiking up their fees.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're demanding more transparency. They're even hinting at capping those fees.
I wonder what they'll do.
I know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. This move, I think, it highlights the ongoing tension, between innovation and regulation.
Right.
On one hand, you have companies like MasterCard and Visa driving innovation in payments. On the other hand, you have regulators stepping in to protect consumers and businesses from potentially unfair practices.
It's a tough balance.
It really is. And speaking of regulation, remember that new open banking rule in the U.S.? Well, Bespin Global and Ozone API are joining forces to help U.S. banks navigate those, let's just call them choppy waters, and implement those new data sharing requirements smoothly. This partnership, to me, speaks to the complexity of open banking. It's not just about complying with regulations. It's about leveraging data in new and innovative ways.
Right.
To create better financial products and services, right?
Yeah.
Bespin Global and Ozone API, I think, are providing much-needed expertise to help banks embrace the opportunities of open banking.
Makes sense.
The payments world is always buzzing, especially in emerging markets. We saw MoneyPoint rolling out a staggering 5 million contactless Afrigo cards in Nigeria,
Wow.
pushing them closer and closer to a cashless economy.
That's amazing. This really showcases how fintech is driving financial inclusion in these developing countries.
Yeah.
Access to digital payments, it's a game changer, especially in regions where traditional banking infrastructure is limited. MoneyPoint is, well, they're making a real difference in Nigeria.
Yeah, they really are. And while we're on the topic of making a difference, Galicia is making it easier for people in Argentina to send money to loved ones in other Latin American countries.
Oh, that's great.
This highlights the critical role of accessible and user-friendly remittance services. You know, for communities that rely on these cross-border money transfers, streamlined and affordable options, those can be life-changing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Galicia is stepping up to meet that need. Open banking is a hot topic, and it continues to make headlines.
Yeah, it seems like it's everywhere.
Australia is taking a bold step by opening up Google Wallet for least cost routing, which could mean lower transaction fees for merchants.
Interesting.
This move, I think, is a potential game changer for the Australian payments landscape.
How so?
Well, by giving merchants more control over those transaction costs, it fosters competition and potentially even lowers prices for consumers.
I see.
It's a great example of how open banking can benefit everybody.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Now let's switch gears a little bit and explore the world of AI and technology, where companies are, well, they're really leveraging its power to make financial systems more secure.
Yeah,
Lloyds Bank, they even patented their AI-powered cyber attack detection tool.
that's wild.
This just highlights the crucial role of AI in safeguarding those financial systems. You know, as cyber threats become more sophisticated, AI becomes an invaluable tool for detecting and preventing fraud.
Absolutely.
Lloyds Bank is taking proactive steps to protect their customers and all that valuable data.
Good for them.
And you know, before we move on, a quick reminder from our sponsor, BayPay. They're your go-to resource for all things payments education. So if you're feeling a little overwhelmed by all this AI talk or any other aspect of fintech, just head over to payacademy.com. They will definitely help you make sense of it all. Okay, so now let's talk about fraud, because it's a constant threat. And those pesky PayPal scammers, they're getting sneaky. They're actually using DocuSign's API to make their phishing emails look incredibly legit.
Oh, wow. I hadn't heard that.
It's a real wake-up call for everyone, you know?
Yeah.
It's a reminder that we can't afford to be complacent when it comes to cybersecurity.
Right.
Scammers are constantly evolving their tactics.
They are.
We all need to stay vigilant.
Agree.
Okay, so the corporate world is always buzzing with activity, and this week was no different. Pfizer just finalized its acquisition of Payfair, bringing more payment options to gig workers.
Oh, interesting.
This acquisition, to me, just speaks to the growing focus on serving the gig economy.
Yeah, for sure.
As more and more people embrace freelance and contract work, it's essential to provide them with access to the same level of financial services as those traditional employees.
Yeah, makes sense.
Pfizer is making a smart move by catering to this growing segment.
Absolutely.
And hold on to your hats, because Klarna, you know, the buy now, pay later giant,
Yeah.
well, they're rumored to be filing for an IPO next week. This could be a major, major shakeup in the fintech world.
That's huge.
I know, right?
This IPO could be a defining moment for that whole buy now, pay later industry. It will be fascinating to see how Klarna's performance influences investor sentiment towards, other fintech companies in this space. It could spark a whole wave of new investments and innovations.
Yeah, it could. Okay, so that actually wraps up the first part of our fintech deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground, but there is so much more to explore. We'll be right back with even more exciting news and insights. Stay tuned.
So before we took that quick break, we were in the middle of talking about that acquisition of Payfare by Pfizer.
Right, right. And how it really shows how important it is to cater to that whole gig economy.
Yeah, exactly. It's fascinating to see how the financial services industry is adapting to the changing nature of work, right?
Yeah, it really is.
And it's not just about gig workers either. We're seeing a lot of innovations that aim at streamlining payments for businesses of all sizes.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Like, take, for example, Emirates NBD. You know them.
Yeah.
They've just become the first bank in the UAE to roll out Visa Commercial Pay Mobile.
Oh, wow.
This solution basically allows businesses to manage expenses more efficiently by giving employees these virtual Visa cards right on their mobile devices.
So they can even use it for point-of-sale transactions. So that's got to be a game changer for businesses that rely on those mobile payments.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And there's a security element to it, too.
I was going to say.
The use of those tokenized credentials just adds that extra layer of protection, which is always a priority in today's digital landscape. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's great to see these advancements benefiting businesses of all sizes. Speaking of which, Paytm has partnered with RBL Bank to expand access to digital payment solutions for smaller businesses in India.
Oh, that's great. This partnership is like the perfect example of how fintech is bridging that gap, between those traditional financial institutions and the needs of these small and medium-sized enterprises.
Right.
By making it easier for them to accept these digital payments, Paytm and RBL Bank, I think they're really helping them compete in this rapidly evolving marketplace.
It's all about, leveling the playing field, creating opportunities for businesses to thrive.
Yeah.
And that extends to these cross-border transactions as well. We saw a partnership between Payoneer and Mizan Bank in Pakistan, and it's making it so much easier for SMBs, freelancers, entrepreneurs, everyone to send and receive those international payments.
That's a big deal.
It is.
Especially for businesses in Pakistan, right?
Yeah.
This partnership, by simplifying those cross-border transactions, really opens up a world of opportunities for them to connect with those international clients, expand their reach. I mean, it's another example of how fintech is breaking down those barriers and just promoting economic growth.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so let's shift gears again and talk about open banking. It's a topic that, it keeps coming up, and for good reason.
Yeah.
We saw Australia opening up Google Wallet for least cost routing, which could have a huge impact on their payments landscape.
Absolutely. This move is all about, giving those merchants more choices. By allowing them to opt for lower cost routing options, Australia is fostering competition, and they're potentially lowering costs for both businesses and consumers. It's a prime example of how open banking can drive positive change in the financial services industry.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the impact of open banking is being felt globally. That's been Global and Ozone API. They're partnering to help U.S. banks navigate the complexities of open banking implementation.
It's a huge undertaking.
It is.
This partnership just highlights the need for that expertise and collaboration in the open banking space,
Yeah.
It's a complex landscape with all those evolving regulations, those technological challenges. Vespin Global and Ozone API are providing valuable support to help those U.S. banks, make that smooth transition to open banking and capitalize on its potential.
Okay, so let's turn our attention now to that transformative power of AI and technology. It's really shaping the future of finance in incredible ways. One standout example this week was the launch of Skyfire.
Skyfire?
Yeah, it's a payment network built specifically for AI-driven transactions.
Oh, wow. So like machines paying machines?
Exactly. Skyfire's infrastructure actually facilitates payments between these AI agents, data platforms, and service providers. It's crazy. It's paving the way for a future of autonomous digital transactions. It's really a glimpse into a world where machines can just conduct these financial transactions seamlessly, securely.
That is wild. It's pretty mind-blowing to think about the possibilities this opens up.
I know, right?
As AI keeps evolving, I think we can expect even more innovative applications in this whole financial realm.
I think so too. And it's not just about facilitating payments either, right?
Right.
AI is also playing a crucial role in combating fraud and enhancing security. We saw FeedZai introduce Scam Alert, this fraud prevention tool that's powered by generative AI.
Oh, interesting.
This tool is designed to help those banks and those consumers identify and prevent scams, especially the ones involving those customer-initiated transactions.
That's really important.
It is, especially as scammers are becoming more sophisticated in their tactics. It's reassuring to see these companies like Vitae leveraging AI to stay one step ahead.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about these reactive measures, right?
Right.
Secure has launched the Identity Manipulation Risk Score, an AI-driven tool that aims to prevent fraud before it even happens.
Oh, wow.
By analyzing data to identify potential fraudsters, this tool is helping businesses and those consumers stay protected.
It's like having a digital bodyguard for your transactions.
I love it. It's amazing how AI is being used to create a safer and more secure financial ecosystem. Now let's move on to some notable developments in the corporate world.
Sure. We saw a few interesting acquisitions and partnerships this week, including Alchemy's acquisition of Mantiel.
Oh, right.
This move expands Alchemy's account opening offerings, creating a more comprehensive digital sales and services platform for those financial institutions.
This acquisition really highlights that trend of consolidation in the fintech industry. By joining forces, companies like Alchemy and Mantiel, they can offer a wider range of solutions and create a more integrated experience for their clients.
It's all about that one-stop shop,
Exactly. And of course, we can't forget about all that buzz surrounding Klarna's potential IPO.
Oh, yeah. It's a development that's generating a lot of excitement, a lot of speculation in the fintech world.
It's definitely a story to watch closely.
Yeah.
The outcome of this IPO could have a ripple effect, like throughout the whole industry. It could influence that investor sentiment and potentially spark a wave of new investments in that whole buy now, pay later space.
Yeah, it could. Speaking of potential risks, one story that kind of caught my attention was the discovery of those PayPal scammers using DocuSign's API to make their phishing emails look, I don't know, even more convincing.
Yeah, that's a concerning development for sure.
It shows how those scammers are just constantly adapting their tactics to exploit new technologies,
Right.
and to prey on unsuspecting victims. It's a reminder that we can never, ever let our guard down when it comes to online security.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit now and look at some global trends shaping the payments landscape. One development that really stood out to me was UnionPay's relaunch in Mauritius.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, this move is a testament to the growing influence of those Chinese payment networks on the global stage.
For sure.
UnionPay is, well, they're expanding their reach, offering an alternative to those traditional card networks like Visa and MasterCard.
Right.
It's a reminder that this payments landscape is becoming increasingly interconnected and competitive.
Oh, for sure.
Players from all over the world they're vying for a share of this rapidly growing market.
Yeah.
And amidst all this competition, we're also seeing collaboration. The partnership between Nike and Payoneer is a great example.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, this collaboration is making it so much easier for those Colombian entrepreneurs to receive those international payments.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's opened up new opportunities for them to grow their businesses and connect with those global markets.
It's great to see.
Yeah, this partnership, it's a win-win for everybody involved. It's a testament to the power of fintech to just break down those geographical boundaries and empower individuals and businesses, worldwide. And that brings us to the end of the second part of our deep dive.
Stay tuned for that final part where we're going to wrap up our discussion and, explore the importance of continuous learning in this ever-evolving world of fintech.
And we are back for the final part of our fintech deep dive. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it? So many innovations, partnerships, and trends, all pointing towards the future of finance.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground, from those AI-powered payments to the global expansion of open banking. It's amazing to see it all happening.
It really is. And, it's incredible how quickly this industry is evolving. But before we wrap things up, I do want to touch on something important. Continuous learning.
Absolutely.
In this fast-paced landscape, it's more important than ever.
Couldn't agree more. Fintech is constantly changing, and to stay ahead of the curve, you really need to commit to that ongoing education, that professional development.
Exactly. And that's where resources like, Paycademy really come in. They offer so much invaluable knowledge and training for those payments professionals at all levels.
For sure. Whether you're a seasoned veteran or just starting out in fintech, there's always something new to learn.
Yeah, that's so true.
Paycademy gives you the tools, those resources to help you stay informed, to navigate all the complexities of this dynamic industry. So as we reflect on everything we've talked about, what stands out to you as the most significant development this week?
That's a tough one. There's been so much.
I know, right? It's hard to pick just one.
It is.
For me, it's gotta be the convergence of AI and payments. The launch of Skyfire, that payment network that's specifically designed for those AI-driven transactions, that's a game changer.
Yeah, it is.
It's like a peek into the future,
Yeah.
where machines can conduct those financial transactions seamlessly, securely.
I agree. The potential of AI and finance is, well, it's truly transformative. It's not just about efficiency and automation, right? It's
Wow.
about creating entirely new possibilities.
Absolutely. What about you? Anything that piqued your interest this week?
Yeah, I'm really fascinated by the global expansion of open banking. We're seeing new regulations, innovative partnerships, and these exciting use cases emerging all over the world.
Hmm.
It's, well, it's clear that open banking is reshaping the financial services industry,
Yeah.
and it's empowering consumers with greater control over their data.
It's definitely a force to be reckoned with, that's for sure.
It is.
It has the potential to totally revolutionize the way we, interact with our financial data, how we access those financial services.
Right. So as we conclude our deep dive, is there one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
Yeah, I think it's the importance of staying curious, embracing change. The world of fintech is always evolving, right?
Yeah.
And those who are willing to learn, to adapt, and to explore those new possibilities, they're the ones that are going to thrive in this dynamic environment.
I couldn't agree more. A curious mind and a willingness to embrace those innovations, those are essential for success in fintech.
Definitely.
And remember, continuous learning is key. Stay informed, stay engaged, and never stop exploring this world of payments and financial technology.
Well said. And that brings us to the end of our fintech journey for this week. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it insightful, engaging.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for even more deep dives into the world of payments and fintech. We will be back next week with another exciting round of news and insights. Until then, keep learning and stay curious.